A lead.
How many leads we have?
The premium leads. Like 500 leads.
Take those leads. The leads. You're gonna steal the leads.
So I'm going to talk to you today about having a strong process that puts you in control of the sales cycle to reduce its length, to position you or your firm as a peer with the prospect, and to basically make your life better. And so what I'm about to share with you really changed my life when I first heard it. And it's just the beginning, and I think it'll be helpful to you. So it never really occurred to me there were two processes, right? The buyer's process and the seller's process. Everything I had learned about selling was reactive in nature to the buyer's process. You know, I never really thought of it that way. I mean, my methods were tried and true, and they were working. You know, I mean, sure, it was exhausting, right? But that's sales, right?
Oh, God, I hate this job.
No, it doesn't have to be that way. But most buyers don't really know they're engaged in a process. Okay, we have this saying, buyers are liars. As it sounds, we're not saying they're bad people. We're talking white lies, basically to work the process in their favor, exactly what you would expect in the dance of sales. Think about it this way. We do it all the time. The misleading part might be that they're actually buying. Maybe they're not buying, they're just doing research. But they're not going to tell you that because any good salesperson's not going to spend a lot of time with somebody who's just doing research, right? So they're going to say they're buying. They might say that they're the decision maker when they're not. Lots and lots of things go on. So they mislead us, but our reaction is what's important. Our reaction in this case is when they say, hey, I'm really interested in what you got going there. You know, our reaction generally is to hope and believe that it's true, right? We want to make that sale, right? Great, let's talk, and let me tell you how we do it and how we can help and all these things. We jump right into it, but that's reactive to the buyer. And then the buyer wants to usually get information from us. That's usually the quest, right? And we're just so happy to give that information, right? We want to tell you every detail about our complex offering and all of the complex details. And we start just throwing it out there within a few minutes of meeting the prospect, and we're just giving them what they want. We're reacting to them again. And that's called free consulting. And that's really what they're after. And so we even codify that by writing usually detailed proposals. If you're talking a high-level B2B process, you're probably writing very long proposals that really explicitly describe how you're going to solve the problem and what's it going to cost and how long it's going to take, which sounds perfectly reasonable, right? But it is not in your best interest to do that, to give them all the answers. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And then you deliver the proposal, and strangely, they tend to disappear. They'll tell you something like, well, I need to take this to blah, blah, blah. I need to take this to my boss. I need to take this to the board. Okay, so if you'll give me a call in a week or two, I'll let you know where we stand on it. And so we start the follow-up process. So we start following up. And so we finally reach them, and they give us a nice lie. They say, well, look, the board didn't have a chance to get together. They had to postpone it, whatever it is. I mean, there might be a board. It could be true. It might not be true, but it's designed to, again, keep you at arm's length. And sometimes it's in the form of an objection, right? So we're taught to handle objections, right? Handle those objections. We got to answer for everything, right? And then they hide again, and then we finally reach them one way or another, sometimes camping out on their lawn, which I do not recommend, and we attempt to close, right? We try to convince them that we're the best, that they need to do this, that they need to do that, and sometimes taking on that sort of parental tone where I'm going to tell you how to do things, that doesn't usually work very well. That's why close rates are usually lower than they should be. Then they'll stall. They'll say, hey, I'm sorry, we're not ready yet. Just give me a couple more weeks. And so we put it on our calendar and we follow up again in 2 weeks. And then they lie again and they say something else that, and then we attempt to close again. And then they go back into hiding, and then we follow up, and then we keep following up, and they keep hiding, and we just keep following up. And it's right here where the death spiral starts, right? You start to lose control of the sales process. We've all had it happen, right? We spend so much time doing all of these steps and doing everything the buyer asks and doing it with a smile on our face. We're convincing and we're proposing, cajoling, explaining, writing the proposal, changing the proposal. and then they just say, let me think about it. And then they come back. They don't have the budget they thought they had. There's another decision maker. There's all these things. The dog ate my homework, right? And around it goes, and it costs a huge amount of money. And most of those deals actually don't happen. If you keep stats on your sales work, you'll see that those deals where you're following up, getting all these excuses, and you're working so hard, very few of them actually close, just enough to keep you pulling that lever, right? But it's extremely inefficient. And so a lot of companies will say, look, our sales cycle is 1 to 6 months, and we can't control it. That's just how buyers are in our business. I'm going to show you that that's not necessarily true, and that you absolutely can control it. Are you worried about leaving money on the table? Are you tired of chasing people around who never seem to buy? Are you ready to reclaim your dignity in your life? Click the link below and I'll share with you a better way.